These right here are game changers, and they're budget friendly and they work across all of your assistants. This is a Govee smart plug, which essentially allows you to turn on and off any device with your voice or your smartphone. Now the reason I purchased the Govee ones is because I got a pack of 4 for $30. And not only that, they integrate with Google, Alexa, as well as Siri, because even though they don't have Apple HomeKit support, they do have Siri shortcut support. So I can plug anything into this, set up a Siri shortcut, and use my voice to turn it on and off. Siri, bedroom lights off. Game changers. If you want to check them out for yourself, I got it linked in my bio.
How do you get from nothing to something?
It's not that we have no idea. We have some rather interesting ideas, and they're all traceable to the concept of the multiverse, where we, in our friendly universe with known laws of physics, are just one bubble of many bubbles that would come in and out of existence in this sort of meta system of multiverses. And if that's the case, then we can definitely point to a beginning of our universe because there's some other structure that's there pumping them out and pulling them back. But that just simply shifts the question to, how did the multiverse get here?
Let's count down the 3 biggest stories in space news from last week. NASA is paying Blue Origin $3.4 billion to build a spacecraft to land people on the moon in 2029. This week, the company unveiled a full-sized mock-up of the Blue Moon lander, putting it one step closer to the moon. In 2021, a meteorite slammed into Mars, creating a Marsquake that was recorded by NASA's InSight lander. Based on that seismic activity, scientists are now saying Mars's core is likely smaller than previously believed and surrounded by a layer of molten rock. In June, a quote, space factory launched by Varda Space Industries autonomously produced an HIV drug in space. The spacecraft could one day revolutionize manufacturing, but for the time being is stuck in Earth orbit as the startup says that it's struggling to clear its landing with the US government. Follow for more stories like this or check out the T-Minus newsletter you can find at freethink.com. See you next week.
And holds TVs up to 70 inches, conceals all of your devices and cords, and has a space for a soundbar for a minimalistic look. This vent gets plugged in and has booster fans to suck in cool or hot air from the vents and blow them into that one room that never seems to cool or heat up as well as the others. This ceiling fan light installs easily and has clear blades that extend when the fan is on, makes no noise, and retracts inwards when turned off. This gadget turns any light bulb socket into a USB charger. And this basket installs under any switch or outlet cover to store all the things you need to grab before leaving your house, keys, remote, and other small items.
Here's 3 reasons why Android is better than iPhones. Number 1 has to be quick responses. So when you get a message and you swipe down to your settings or notification panel, whatever you do, you can get the quick responses like okay, whatever you want to send, or you can click mark as read or reply. I mean, you can also reply on iPhones, but you don't get the quick responses. Number 2 has to be the magic eraser feature. I mean, if you have a Samsung or Google Pixel, you have this feature. I don't really know about any other Androids, but you just go to Tools, Magic Eraser, circle whatever you want to erase, and it can erase it, as you can see, which is a really cool feature. It's not a need, but it is a really cool feature. And number 3 has to be this feature. I'm not gonna lie, I don't use it though, but other people do.
Drop in the comments why you deserve to win this PC. Over 10,000 comments. Alright, I knew a lot of people would want a free PC, but I did not expect over 10,000 people to comment on this video, and I don't think NZXT expected it either. And I went through a lot of comments, and it really inspired me, the amount of people who really are looking to pursue their passions and their dreams. And if I could send a free PC to all of you, I would, but unfortunately I can't, and there could only be one winner because I only had one PC. And that winner is Eric Werlin. Eric, you mentioned that this would be a dream setup for color grading and rendering, and I checked out your work and it's incredible, and I want to support you and I want you to keep going. I'll be sending you a message and I'll be shipping out your PC next week. And for those of you that didn't win, I hear you, I understand. But your continued support on my videos like this is what makes people like NZXT want to give away free PCs. So first of all, thank you for your support. And if you continue to support me, there's a high likelihood that more brands and more companies are gonna wanna do giveaways on this channel. And trust me, I know they're coming. So with that said, stick around, you might just get lucky.
What inspired you to get into physics and science more generally?
As I said before, it was astronomy and also space travel. When I was growing up, I grew up at the end of the Apollo program when people were landing on the moon, and then the space shuttle came along. So it was a combination of astronomy and, for me, space flights. But as I said, I think it could have been anything, because I think that the point about science is that it's about allowing your curiosity free rein. And actually, ultimately, if you choose to be scientists, and I hope many of you do, it means that your job is to be curious. So you can be paid for being curious. And I think actually when you realize that, it doesn't matter whether you're curious about the stars or curious about microbes. The whole lot is equally interesting, and that's what I find.
Researchers in China just developed something that's a lot like this. Well, sort of. Researchers combined spider DNA with silkworms to create really, really strong silk. Spider silk is a natural fiber that is somehow both strong and tough, like a hybrid of nylon and Kevlar. The problem is, spiders are incredibly hard to cultivate and farm. If you put them together, they end up attacking and killing each other.
That man is the imposter.
The problem with silkworms is that their silk is really fragile. So the dream scenario would be to have silkworms that could create spider-level silk. Well, check this out. Researchers recoded the silk creating properties of a silkworm by splicing in DNA from an East Asian orb weaving spider. And the result was a silk 6 times as tough as Kevlar and 10 times as strong as nylon. About 60% of our clothes are made from synthetic fibers that are damaging to the environment. Even though this super spider silk technology has a long way to go, it's a major step in the right direction for reducing the toll clothing production takes on the environment. For more like this, follow Freethink.
It's time to prepare for your next holiday. This is the Lung Sub Mask. It's a snorkel mask that allows you to breathe underwater for up to 10 minutes. It uses a detachable lung air tank that you can refill yourself. And the best part is, refilling is free with the filtered high pressure hand pump or the filtered mini compressor.
Just announced Final Cut Pro for the iPad, but it will not run on this specific iPad Pro. While I've been waiting for Final Cut Pro to make it to the iPad, I was really sad to hear that Apple decided that it would not run on anything other than M1 and above iPad models. And you gotta ask yourself, why is that when chips like the A12X Bionic were really powerful to begin with? And apps like LumaFusion and even DaVinci Resolve have been running on 2018 and 2019 iPad models since they came out. Was this just a ploy to sell newer iPad models, or is it actually a hardware limitation? Well, to be honest, no one knows, but I find it hard to believe that it is a hardware limitation considering how easy it is for me to edit videos using Resolve on my iPad. Either way, it's still a big leap for Final Cut, and I'd love to try it out when it comes out, but let me know your thoughts in the comments below.
13.7 billion years ago, the universe was much smaller, much denser, much hotter. So hot that matter and energy formed this soup of interplay. Right now, you take it for granted that we sit here and you're not going to pop into a ball of energy and dissipate into space. We kind of expect that that is not going to happen quite that way to you. And so why? Because we don't live in an environment for which that's an everyday occurrence. But there are environments in the universe where that happens all the time. Like, for example, the center of a star, at the origins of the universe. In fact, if we were immersed in those environments and did not otherwise vaporize, it would be a very natural thing to watch particles pop into existence out of nothing, but it's actually energy, and watch particles come back together and make energy again. That's a very natural thing. Exotic to us, requiring an Einstein to have figured out. But under some conditions, it's just every day.
This artwork right here was made entirely with the artist's mind. This and this and this on display here in Washington, D.C. was made by people with paralysis using brain-computer interface, or BCI technology. It works by implanting a chip in the brain that connects a person's neural signals with the computer, allowing them to control a cursor or a bionic limb with only their thoughts. Organized by BlackRock Neurotech, this is the world's first exhibit of brain-computer interface created art. While it displays how this tech allows people with full or partial paralysis create art again, the implications beyond that are huge. BCIs have helped users regain their ability to move their physical limbs again, control bionic limbs, or type out messages on a computer, all by relinking their brainwaves to the outside world. BlackRock anticipates releasing their first BCI for home use as early as 2024.